All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracted Nightly Sports Call. This is our GMC tweet of the night. Pitt football woke up 7-0. Larry Fitzgerald, night over there. They were giving away Larry Fitzgerald bobbleheads. Also the Shark, and the Sharks came out. That linebacking core really did the damage, made all the big splash plays. I think 4 of the 5 interceptions were by linebackers, and 3 of them were pick sixes. So big win for Pitt to improve to 7-0. They got a big game this weekend. Next weekend, Saturday at SMU. I think that's a tough one. SMU's ranked 22nd in the country right now. All right, we're going to hit the phone lines. We got John out in Cranberry. How you doing, John?
Hey, Rich.
Hey.
And, Jason, how you guys doing tonight?
Hey, John. Good, thanks for calling.
Good, thanks. Hey, just wanted to echo your sentiments about Pitt. And unbelievable. And like Jason said, I've never seen 3 pick sixes and a half. I've never seen it before.
It hasn't happened in 25 years. I don't know who did it, but we ran that tweet last night, so.
It's so exciting. But really quickly, what I want to talk to you about is still football related, but Rich, you mentioned earlier about Holstein and the concussion. And what I wanted to talk about quickly was Tua Tagovailoa. So he was cleared, and it's been announced he's playing today. But me personally, I love football. I love the game. But is Tua like thinking about, with his heart and not his head in the situation?
John, I think you're right. I think you hit the nail on the head right there. A lot of these players, they think about winning, and we just talked about that with Eli Holstein, right? And they're not thinking about their bodies. I mean, some guys do. Some guys think about this now, especially now. But before, if you're asking a player, and if he's not getting checked by an independent neurologist, he'll probably want to go back in, right?
Yeah, Richie, and this worries me. I don't like it at all. It's hard for us to sit here and tell Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
I'm going to stumble
Go
over
say
that.
that 5 times.
Yeah, I know. I can't even say it once. It's tough for us to tell him what to do. At the same time, if you're the NFL, why are you not requiring him to wear one of those Guardian caps? That's what you can legislate. You can require some additional headwear. If there is ever a candidate for that, it's Tua. I understand you have to allow him to play, and I can't say what he's thinking or what he's not. From externally, yeah, it doesn't look like he's thinking with his head. It looks like he's thinking with his wallet or wanting to continue his career. There's a family involved. There's people that, really care about him on a level that doesn't include football whatsoever. And so, yeah, it worries me. It makes me sad that he feels like he has to do this. A lot of emotions. I wish he didn't feel that way. But, again, we're adults, and I don't know if it's my place to tell him what to do.
Yeah, he doesn't have to worry about money. He said all that money, most of that money is guaranteed. And you would have to trust the NFL. They have a lot of guidelines. They got a lot of baselines when it comes to concussions that, once you're cleared, you should be good to go, right?
I don't trust the NFL. Why would you trust the NFL? I wouldn't trust anybody with concussions. I would trust independent neurologists. I would trust my doctors. And frankly, I would trust my family and the people around me that cared about me. The NFL, I don't think, care about Tua Tagovailoa's well-being. They might, as long as it doesn't create a public relations mess for them. But I'm not sure they really genuinely care about head injuries. If they did, they would have him wear a Guardian cap. They would say it's not optional. Sorry, this is our league. You're doing this. And maybe the union fights it. I don't know. But I wouldn't trust anybody in this. If I was Tua, I would be listening to the advice of my family. And I have a really hard time believing his family feels completely comfortable with him playing. Maybe they do, but I couldn't do it, man. I'd be good. I would be good. I would say, you know what? I've had a career. Let's get a broadcasting thing going. I'm going to talk about TV or talk about football on TV. I'm done playing.
Or coach, right?
Anything. I'm sure the Dolphins would negotiate something with him. He could absolutely have a career around football. Just, somebody's telling you that your brain is not cooperating, and you can't really replace that.
And the worst kind of concussions are with quarterbacks when they get sacked and they hit their head against the turf. We've seen Kenny Pickett. That happened to Kenny Pickett a few times. It looks innocent sometimes, but, hey, one hit and you fall back and your head hits the turf, you might get another concussion. Obviously he can't afford too many more of those. Let's go out to Josiah in San Antonio. How you doing, Josiah?
All right, and so, Rich. Hey, Jason. I had a couple quick questions. One is football, one is hockey. If I can get hockey, my answer too.
As long as it's not a question about the Boston Bruins like last time.
Oh, man. Okay, well,
right,
I guess I can. All right, with the receiver court, now, I know that they missed out on Ayuk. He got the injury, and I know that they didn't get DeAndre Hopkins. So I'm wondering, if they're not going to get Cooper Kupp, and I think, Rich, you said the other night you didn't want him, I kind of think like beggars can't be choosers here. I kind of feel like we need some kind of help at that position. This keeps lingering longer and longer. It's eventually going to backfire.
Yeah, Josiah, I actually said last night that I would love to see the Steelers get him. I just don't want to see him pay that price tag for him. I don't know if he's worth a second-round pick. It's got to be something, I think, much lower in the draft just because you don't know about his health. I think he's a perfect fit, a perfect complement to George Pickens, and a perfect weapon for Russell Wilson right now. And that leads me to, I want to still talk about this trade deadline, which is coming up in a little over a week, Jason, but I would love to see Cooper Kupp come here.
Oh, my goodness, Richie. I'll pick him up at the airport. I'll give up a second-round pick. I don't care.
Would you give up a second-round pick for him?
Absolutely.
See, absolutely. I wouldn't.
I'd have no problem. Man, you got to give to get.
I understand. And are you saying that because they should be in win now mode?
Yes.
And you don't want that second pick next year?
Yes. They have. I'm not saying they have enough draft picks, but I'm saying they have enough draft picks. I'm saying right now they have a glaring deficiency at wide receiver. I'm sorry, Van Jefferson, Scotty Miller, Calvin Austin III. It's not enough. Look at your quarterback. Look at your situation. Like, you could lose Najee Harris after this year. Who knows what happens with Russell Wilson? You've got T.J. Watt, Cam Hayward. These guys deserve to play in playoff games. They should win playoff games. It's been 7 years. The president of the team said enough is enough. I'm sorry, enough is enough with holding draft picks. If Cooper Kupp is available and it takes a second-round pick to get him, I would do it. This has been floated a little bit, but remember Jim Rutherford on the hockey side. I dealt with him a lot, and Jim used to say, how do you think I got the guy? You have to overpay a little bit when you need something, when you have priorities such as winning. And if that's what the Steelers want to do, I'm sorry. I'm fine giving up a second-round pick because I know what Cooper Kupp can be for the Steelers.
I understand he has more years on his contract, but what if you only have him for this year? I feel it's like throwing away a second-round draft pick. I get what you're saying.
If it goes well, you negotiate something with him. I don't have a problem with that. If he's healthy, if he's productive, then you pay him.
So, maybe a conditional pick on certain conditions.
Yeah, I mean, I would try to go there, but if that didn't get it done, you're asking me if I would go a straight second-round pick, and again, I would.
Yeah.
I would. I'd prefer a conditional pick. I'd prefer a seventh-round pick. I just don't think it's going to happen. I mean, at some point, the Steelers are either going to have to take a mediocre wide receiver and try to shoehorn him into this offense, or they're going to make a bold move that maybe people say, they overpaid a little bit, but if that guy's really good, nobody's going to worry about that. They need to win now.
I really like Van Jefferson. Evidence today, he came back in the room just to talk to us, right? I mean, he's a super nice guy. We did a story today on him talking about giving the ball to his dad. He catches touchdowns every time he plays his dad, so you should make that bet, right? But what I'm saying is I like him. I think he'd be much better as a third receiver for the Steelers, but outside of Cooper Kupp, and I think the Rams might be reluctant to trade him now since they won and they're kind of in it. They're only a game out. So I don't know if they're going to trade him or want to trade him. Who else is out there? Who else can you get that's an upgrade to Van Jefferson?
Here's one for you, Richie.
Go ahead.
I don't know why this hasn't been talked about more. Tyler Boyd. Why not? Why are we not discussing Tyler Boyd coming to the Steelers? I don't know if there's interest on either end, but I know he's a guy who's worked in the slot before. I know what his character is. I know what people think of him. I know what he can do. Nobody's asking Tyler Boyd to come in here and be a number one unquestionable. You need him to help in the run game. You need him to be a good mentor. You need him to add something. Tyler Boyd can do that. It's not an extravagant salary. Again, I don't know if it would match up with what the Titans are looking to do. Maybe they're looking to keep him. But as far as targets, I can't imagine, and I mean targets as in receivers they should get, not like how many times he's thrown the ball. I can't imagine that price is extravagant.
I wouldn't think so either, but why do you think that they were so hesitant to they had opportunities to sign Tyler Boyd? Why did it happen in the first place?
I mean, maybe they thought they were getting Ayuk. Maybe they thought they were going a different direction. I think the Steelers have expressed interest in a lot of guys, which tells me they thought at least some way. I mean, if you express that sort of interest, if you get Ayuk to where they did, and I firmly believe they got played in that deal, that he used them for leverage. But maybe the Steelers didn't think that at the time. Maybe they really thought they were getting Brandon Ayuk. You're not going to commit to somebody else. And you say, well, we can pay this for Tyler Boyd, or we can pay this for Brandon Ayuk, or, a player in the strata of a Devontae Adams. I just think right now with their situation, with who's gone off the board, maybe you want to preserve the draft picks. I don't necessarily agree with that, but if that's your argument, Tyler Boyd's going to make that a little easier.
Yeah, everyone talks about Mike Williams, too. You might be able to get him cheap, but I don't know how much he helps his offense right now. Let's go out to Frank in Wilkinsburg. How you doing, Frank?
Thanks for taking my call, Rich. I kind of agree with you with what you were saying about the wide receiver from the L.A. Rams.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp.
It would be expensive. Yeah, Cooper Kupp. I think that with him winning the way he did when they played Thursday night, they're going to keep him. But to Jason's point, Tyler Boyd would be a good pick, but money-wise, would the Steelers be able to make a deal with him? And also, what about Odell Beckham or some of the other receivers out there? I'll hang up and get your take on it.
All right, Jason, what do you think? We got to go to a break here soon.
Yeah, I don't think money-wise it would be prohibitive with Tyler Boyd. I think that, do they view him as a fit, or the Titans willing to trade him? Christian Kirk is another one from Jacksonville who intrigues me a lot. I think they could make that work money-wise. The NFL is fairly fungible with that stuff. I think you could find the room. Are the Jaguars willing to trade him?
Yeah, you can always push money down the line, right? All right, we got to take a break. Back in a couple minutes. Hey, how about a couple more names, Jason? Darius Slayton. Maybe he just stays in town after the Steelers beat the Giants. Or Adam Thielen.
I mean, I'm fine with either of those two, Richie. I think it depends on the acquisition cost. I think they're talented receivers. Here's what I do know. They can't stay with what they have. I mean, I like Van Jefferson. He's a very nice man, as you were saying before. I like him a heck of a lot more as a number 3. Scotty Miller has all but disappeared from this offense. I just think the Steelers have an opportunity to be more than good. And I know that sounds very basic, but I don't want this team to win 9 or 10 games. I think they have the opportunity with a move here to bump themselves up to 11 or 12.
Jason, you have 5 seconds. Prediction for Monday night.
34-17 Steelers.
Okay, I like 26-12. Thanks a lot, Jason. See you next Friday night. Hopefully we see you guys over on KDK News right now.